Alright, hello guys, how's it going? In today's video, we're going to be talking about an upcoming severe weather outbreak that's going to be happening throughout the day and evening and night today, mostly evening and night. Now, before I get started with this video though, I would ask that you do subscribe if you do like weather-related content, and also make sure to share this video with your friends, family, and social media. Now, for today's comment of the day, I want to know, do you have any first-hand severe weather stories? Let me know of your most extreme severe weather first-hand story, and I'll be picking one of those for tomorrow's video. Let's get into this video though, and first things first, we're going to be looking at our day one categorical outlook here, and you can see that we did have a moderate risk added to the outlook here for Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas. Beforehand, we had a slight risk, I think, in my last video update for this. You can follow me on Twitter as well at Prime Patriots. That'll be in the comments down below, as well as our Facebook group. But I did constantly keep you guys updated with what's going on with the outlook of this. So that's a really good place just to get the most up-to-date information for me, because I obviously am not making, 10 videos per day. So to get more faster updates, that's a way you could do that. Now, we do have a slight risk basically from the Midwest all the way down through the South Central United States, a very, very large area in that yellow region, and an enhanced risk. We can't underestimate that as well for Dallas, as well as Fort Worth, Oklahoma City, and Little Rock. A lot of big cities in there, taking over a lot of the space in Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas, and Oklahoma there. Now, we're about to move on, and we're going to talk about some of those individual risks, and we're going to talk a little bit more about if we're expecting tornadoes, hail, wind, what we're looking at here. Now, first things first, here's your wind outlook, and this is actually going to be the most extreme implication that we're going to have here. We're going to have a very high risk for winds because we're looking at a squall line, basically, and I'll talk a little bit about that as we move on to the simulated radar later on, because it'll be easier for me to tell you and show you guys at the same time. But really, we're looking at a 5% risk in this green of damaging winds, 15% in the yellow, 30% in the red, and then 45% in the pink region. So you almost have a 50% chance of seeing damaging winds within 25 miles of your location if you're in that pink color. Also notice that hatched region, that means there's a chance for significant wind damage to take place, so very, very strong straight line winds to be possible within that region. Let's move on to the hail risk here, and it's a little bit less extreme. We have in the green 5% chance, within the yellow 15% chance, and then within the red we have a 30% chance. We are expecting the chance for a very, very large hail today. Actually, this is a region where we do typically see very large hail, but there's actually a very enhanced risk for significant hail. Again, in that hatched region, we have a much higher chance for very, very large hail, 2-inch diameter and larger hail, so very, very large hail. Now, in a second, we're going to go ahead and move on to the tornado risk last but not least, and then we will finally get into that modeled guidance for what we're expecting as far as simulated radar, our significant tornado parameter, all sorts of stuff like that that's going to be very, very informative. Alright, and here's that tornado chance. We're not really looking at a significant tornado chance here. We're not looking at a tornado outbreak, I don't think, here. I mentioned that in my last video update for this event, that I didn't think this would be a tornado outbreak. I think this is going to be a severe weather outbreak because we do have a very, very widespread chance for hail and damaging winds especially. So it's going to make it a very, very major severe weather outbreak actually. But really, as far as tornadoes, there's going to be the chance for some spin-up tornadoes, but really, we're not looking at those discrete supercells, so the chance for really, really large tornadoes is pretty low. Within the green, we have a 2% chance of tornadoes. Within the brown, we have a 5% chance of tornadoes. And within the yellow, we do have a 10% chance for tornadoes. I think these will mostly be spin-up tornadoes that are very short-lived and probably minor. But please take this very seriously. We do actually have a good chance for tornadoes. 10% chance isn't very low. So there is still a chance, so don't let these words that I'm saying make you think, oh, I'm safe, so I don't even have to look at the radar or pay attention to what's going on. Please pay attention for warnings, because again, these spin-up tornadoes can actually be more dangerous because of the fact that they occur so quickly and you don't really have any beforehand chance to see that there's a chance for them. It really happens on a dime, so please be on the be on the aware side all day throughout the day today, because we can get some really quick spin-up tornadoes that can be life-threatening. So if you live in any of these regions, please, please, please be safe, because again, the chance for tornadoes isn't low. It's not high, but it's definitely not low either. So just please take a lot of precautions today to make sure you stay safe during these severe thunderstorms. Now we're about to move on and we're going to talk about all of our modeled guidance. We're going to talk about our CAPE, our bulk shear. We're even going to talk about our simulated radar and the significant tornado parameter, just to talk about those chances with you guys throughout the rest of this video now. All right, and here's that convective available potential energy here. We really look for 1,000 plus amounts, which is in that greenish shade, and you can see we have well above that. So within the yellow we have 2,000 to 3,000. Within the red colors we have 3,000 to 4,000. Within the purples we have 4,000 to 5,000, and within those kind of brownish pinkish shades we have 5,000 plus, which is extremely high CAPE, which is going to lead to some very potent thunderstorms. We look in these high CAPE events. I call it a high CAPE event. I don't know if that's like an official term. I look for really big hail events, actually. So I'm thinking that the chance for damaging hail is going to be actually quite high today. The National Weather Service agrees on that, but I think that because of this very, very high CAPE, that's going to lead to these very, very tall thunderstorms that develop very quickly, and it's going to lead to a lot of chance for damaging hail. Let's go ahead and look at that bulk shear, and you can see we only have the blues and the purples. Really, for tornado outbreaks, we look for reds and yellows, and that's not really going to be around. This is, again, leading me to think that we won't have an elevated chance for damaging tornadoes. It's really going to be a chance that's, I guess I would call slight to moderate for tornadoes throughout the day today. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to our simulated radar. This is I would say this is about I would say early evening time, so maybe 4, 5, 6 p.m. we're looking here today. And you can see in Kansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma, we have some thunderstorms developing, but really our severe thunderstorms haven't developed by this point. It's by the time we reach about 8 p.m. that we really start to see that squall line develop. And again, I told you guys I'd describe what this is, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. It's a straight line area of thunderstorms. You can see it's a very linear type of storm. You can see it stretches very long distances, and it's really just a line of thunderstorms. And in these types of events, we look for mostly wind damage is the biggest implication, like I said before, with the chance for some spin-up tornadoes to develop along that line, but really we're not looking at long-lived large tornadoes to be a really big chance within this. Hail can happen, but really wind is a much, much bigger threat within this type of storm mode. And you can see throughout Oklahoma and Missouri, we are expecting there to be a squall line to develop along those two states. We're about to move on, and we're going to look at our significant tornado parameter, and then we're really just going to move along with our simulated radar throughout the day today, and actually throughout some of the earlier portion of tomorrow as well. All right, and here we go. This is our significant tornado parameter, and we actually have some purple showing up on this model, which is surprising. That's actually in the more moderate to high range. So I think that this is telling me there is a good chance for spin-up tornadoes. Really, the chance for large tornadoes and long-lived tornadoes is lower, though. Again, we do have a 10% chance of tornadoes, and I think that's actually warranted by this significant tornado parameter showing up here on our NAM model. Let's go ahead and take the radar to about, I would say this is maybe 10 or 11 p.m. tonight, and we can see Texas and very southern Oklahoma, as well as Arkansas and Missouri starting to get more involved with this squall line as it just develops even further. This is going to be a very, very strong squall line. Again, that's why we have a very high risk for damaging winds. These straight line thunderstorms really cause mostly a damaging wind risk. And here's that significant tornado parameter by this point, mostly just seeing reds and oranges. Again, this is going to lead to a chance for spin-up tornadoes that are quite brief and probably on the weaker side of the EF scale, but they shouldn't be taken, very lightly because any tornado is dangerous. Let's go ahead and take the radar to maybe about 1 a.m. here on Wednesday, which is going to be tomorrow. And we can see Texas, they're probably around Dallas at this point. Not going to be as strong at this point, but they could cause some damage. They're starting to enter Louisiana and the very eastern and southern regions of Arkansas. We can also see they're still up there for Missouri, southern Illinois, and then maybe going to be heading into states like Kentucky and Tennessee. Let's go ahead and take this all the way to 5 a.m. and you can see it's really diminished by this point, the strength. I do see that in Louisiana and Mississippi it looks quite potent, but really these are just going to be general thunderstorms by this point, very, very early tomorrow morning. Let's go ahead and move on to about 8 a.m. and you can see Louisiana and Mississippi, like I said, going to be feeling the brunt of this one. And then by time we reach maybe about, I would say 12 p.m. they're pretty much diminishing, but we do see that squall line kind of redevelop for Alabama and Georgia tomorrow, and that's going to again increase the chance for damaging winds once again for those two states actually. And here's our severe weather risk for tomorrow. We do have a slight risk for those regions in Alabama and Georgia, and here's why. Here's the wind outlook for tomorrow, and you can see that we do have a 15% chance along where I think that squall line might redevelop there for Alabama and Georgia, and that does include Atlanta, by the way. For today's comment of the day, I asked you guys, do you prefer like warm weather that's quite pleasant in the summertime, or are you looking more forward to like hot weather? And 4Weather said, I like just warm weather, like mid 80s, and I think that's absolutely perfect for like June, July, August. And we did see that one got 18 likes, 6 replies. Definitely a lot of you agreed with that, so that's why I picked it for the comment of the day. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, be sure to share it with your friends, family, and social media. I will see you guys in the next video.